Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. Bought at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? Episode 71. Who will be the lucky person I get to try first? He asked sarcastically. If I don't get this right fast, nobody's going to trust me to deliver them to their destination in one piece. You can always use Adelina as your first live test subject, she suggested. No way. Have you gone crazy, girl? I refuse to be a test subject for something which might rip me apart. You're immortal, Willow said. It's not like he can kill you. Kill? No. Dismember or disfigure? Yes. Count me out. And if you try, bird boy, and I come out of it unscathed, your ass is mine. I swear, I won't use you as a test subject, Hawk said. It was Willow's bad idea, not mine. So stop threatening me. Why don't you use yourself as the test subject? Val suggested. Me? Willow asked. No, not you. Him. Why doesn't he transport himself after more practice? That way he'll be the only one in danger in case something goes wrong. Fine, that's settled. I'll be my own test subject. What are we going to tell the others? I can't show them this. He waved his hand toward the log and rubble pile. Who says we have to tell them anything? Willow said. We could say your gift is being able to hear Val and Adelina. We just leave out the fact that we can talk to each other and that you have this other gift which is still in training. When you finally had enough practice, it can move things without these mishaps. We'll tell them you happened to find this second gift, which the mist failed to mention. We could do that, but we'd be lying to them. Not really lying, she said. We're just not telling them everything. It's not like it'll hurt them to find out in a few days. Hawk thought it over quickly. All right, we'll do it your way. Good. We should get going. The others are probably worried that we were killed by the mist. Did you tell them last night that the mist couldn't kill us? Hawk asked as they started walking toward the sea. I did, but people forget to think rationally when they're scared. Or in pain, Hawk said, obviously remembering how irrational he had been last night when the mist had tested him. Think the others will tell us what they saw? They might. Ask them if you're so curious, Willow said. She was as curious as he was, but she didn't know how to ask them without seeming nosy. I bet they've been comparing notes while looking for you, Adelina said. But you can ask them. They're coming toward us. The group of 5 came out of the forest with Sigurd in the lead. When he saw Willow, he yelled in delight and rushed to her, enfolding her in his arms. We thought the mist had killed you, he said, squeezing her tight. Pulling back, he looked her over. You are uninjured? Yes, she said. Don't you remember me telling you yesterday that the mist couldn't injure us? I tried to tell him, Kalina said from next to Hawk, but the man wouldn't listen. He was convinced the mist had eaten you, or challenged you to combat, or some other nonsense. We'd get him calmed down, but then another idea would come into his mind, and he'd be worked up all over again. I was worried. You can't blame a guy for being worried about the woman he loves. I'm very touched, Willow said. She was, but his attitude from last night still bothered her. How are you feeling after last night? Good. Why? Should I feel differently? He asked. You were possessed by the mist, Sig, Hawk said. That's got to be hard to take. Oh, that. Yeah, it was. But it really wasn't as bad as it sounds. Not as bad as it sounds, Willow repeated as she and the group walked the way they'd come, away from the mist and the field of blood. How is being possessed by a entity not as bad as it sounds? I didn't mean it that way, Sigurd said. I just meant... Yes, what did you mean? She asked, giving him a look to let him know she wasn't going to be put off. And what did the mist offer to show you that was worth the risk of being possessed? When I said that being possessed wasn't as bad as it sounds, I meant that it wasn't unpleasant. It didn't hurt or make you feel weird. The mist felt kind of like another person talking to me from within my head. As to what it showed me, that's personal. Personal? It's personal? I thought you loved me and wanted to marry me. Or was that all a lie? Of course it wasn't a lie, Sigurd said. I do love you and want to marry you, but some things are just too personal to tell someone else, even the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with. Can't you give me a hint? Willow whimpered, willing to do or say almost anything to find out what the big secret was. Sigurd huffed a breath in exasperation. A hint, he thought for a minute. She could see different thoughts floating to the forefront of his mind, only to be discarded. Okay, he said. Fine, I'll tell you. I was seeing different conversations my parents have had since they kicked me out of the house. The long and the short of it is that they miss me and wish they'd never treated me the way they did. See? Was that so hard? Willow asked, giving him a hug. I'm glad your parents have finally seen the error of their ways. Are you going to go see them? I don't know, he said. I haven't really thought about it. Not thought about it? I think that'd be the first thought in your head when you find out such great news. Well, it wasn't. I still have a lot of stuff to think through before I go home and forgive them, if and when I decide to. It will be after you've completed your journey. I'm not going to abandon you like they abandoned me. But you could. Drop it, Sigurd said sternly. Tell me about your time in the mist. Did you get it? The fourth sacred object? I did, Willow said, laying the other subject aside against her better judgment. She sensed there was more to the story than he was telling her. But she'd ask him later, when he might be more willing to tell her. Well, he asked expectantly, where is it? What is it? The mist gave me armor. As to the where, it is part of my clothing. I can call up the armor at a moment's notice. After a brief pause, Sigurd said with sudden impatience, Are you going to show me or make me guess as to what it looks like? Willow stopped in her tracks. She was tired of this impatient, ill-mannered Sigurd. I'm not showing you anything unless you change your tone of voice. I will not be talked to like that. Like what? He asked. I'm talking to you exactly how I'd talk to any other exasperating, uncooperative woman. Anger flashed through Willow with such speed she didn't have time to even think about it. Why, you little... Okay, Kalina said, suddenly pushing her way between the two of them. Break it up. Go back to your neutral corners. Hawk, why don't you walk up front with Sigurd for a while? Willow and I can stay back here and have a nice little chat. I'm not done talking to this, Sigurd started to say, but Hawk cut him off. Come on, Sig, he said, grabbing Sigurd by the arm and pulling him to the front of the group. You don't want to say anything you'll regret later. Sigurd dug his heels into the ground, stopping Hawk from guiding him any farther away from Willow. I wouldn't. Be quiet already, Hawk said. With a sudden pull, Sigurd was out of speaking range of Willow and Kalina. What did he say? Kalina asked after dropping her hand from Willow's arm. I've never seen you so mad before. I'm tired of the way he speaks to me. He was treating me like a child, and I will not stand for it. Has he treated you that way in the past? Maybe he's still affected by the mist's possession. Willow snorted. He's possessed by something, but it's not the mist, or the mist's bad influence. It's not the first time he's done this, and I know it won't be the last time. But by all the gods, I am not going to put up with it anymore. All right, Kalina said, her voice soothing. Nobody's saying you have to put up with anything. As a woman who's lived and worked in a man's world, I've been treated that way more times than I can remember. But you can't blow up on people like that. You still have to live and travel with this guy for the foreseeable future. Anything you two say to each other now is only going to make a working relationship, let alone a romantic relationship, harder. If I have to make a decision right now, I'd never marry that jerk. Well, it's a good thing we're not asking you to make a decision today, isn't it? She said, barely able to keep the laughter out of her voice. Yeah, it is good, Willow said, suddenly laughing. Kalina joined her and the mood lightened. When the laughter finally ended, Kalina asked, What were you talking about before Sigurd went all cretin on you? I was telling him that the mist gave me special armor. And then he got that tone in his voice, and I just wanted to focus more on the armor and less on the cretin, Kalina advised, or else you'll never get over your anger at him. Tell me about the armor. Where is it? The mist had it become part of my clothes, so I could call upon it whenever I want it or need it. Really? That's so awesome. Can you show me it? I've always wanted to see special armor. I would be happy to, Willow responded sweetly, just as I'd have been willing to show the Neanderthal if he'd asked nicely. But did he? No. Sorry, she said to Kalina, suddenly realizing what she was doing. It's all right. The armor? Coming up. A second later, Willow's silvery white engraved armor appeared, drawing a gasp from Kalina. Is that it? She asked, stunned. It's breathtaking. I've never seen anything like it. Even among the men who you trained with? Willow asked. Even among them. They had leather armor and scale armor. Even the rich, like the people who frequented the palace, don't have anything as fine as this. Can I touch? Yes. Kalina's fingers moved along the engraved metal. So smooth and detailed. It was this way when you received it? Willow nodded. I wonder who did the work, for it is exquisite. She lifted her hand from the armor. Even Queen Silverland doesn't have armor this fine. She doesn't? Willow asked, surprised. She doesn't, Kalina confirmed. I was at the palace when she commissioned a new set of armor for herself. It took the most skilled armor maker on the entire island 6 months to make it, and even he wasn't able to make it perfectly smooth. I know because the queen pointed out how she expected it to be smoother than it was. It took the craftsman a long time to convince her that there was no better armor in the world. You have been listening to From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. Read, recorded, mastered, encoded, and produced by Colbyjack.net. This work is released under a Creative Commons 3.0 Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it, just don't try to profit from it. Heaven knows we can't. If you have any questions, comments, or rants you wish to share with us, we can be reached at Colbyjack at Colbyjack.net. That's COLBYTRAX @COLBYJACK.net. Yep, I sing it too. If you want to follow the exploits of Trisha in Twitterland, just search for Lady Trisha W on Twitter, or follow the ever-dashing, courageous, hardworking, intelligent, and immensely humble Colbyjack on the Twitters as well. If you find that you can't, just wait to find out what will happen with Willow, the strong dude and the annoying dude. Be heartened to know that From the Flames is available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Smashwords, as well as from our little shop. Didn't you know about our little shop? Why, yes, we have a little shop located at shop. That's shop.colbyjack.net. That's shop.colbyjack.net. Yeah, real original there. There you will find the latest ebook versions of all our works in both Mobi and ebook, all DRM-free, as well as audiobook versions of such works as Firmware Hijacked and Proxy, as well, naturally, as well as From the Flames. The audiobooks differ from the podcasts in that the headers and bumpers only run once, and the episodes are grouped into hour-long episodes for easy burning to CD or for downloading on the go. If you find you don't need any stuff, but just want to thank us monetarily for our efforts here, just head on over to Colbyjack.net, select either audio or visual, and look for the donate button located on the blog roll. Well, anyway, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week, and remember to be fabulous.